Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. Hope you're doing great. Ooh, let's back up. That's too extreme ninja. Hey, just throwing this out there. Want to introduce you to someone. This is Quanto. He decided to show up today because he knows I'm going to get a new driver's license in a couple days. Let's see if he appears on my driver's license. Hey, I got some great news. I'm going to share a story out of Wolf Street about real estate, but I just missed out on an awesome deal on a foreclosure. Pretty bummed, but where I am looking to buy up real estate, foreclosures are popping up all over the place. And yesterday, I was driving up to want to see it. I missed the deadline. The bank said best and final in a few hours. I missed that deadline because of something that held me up. And I would have been picking up a property in a prime piece of a prime location for about 45% under value. And all it had was a leaky roof and a couple of areas, some dry rot. Would have been easily fixed and some fresh paint inside, and I would have picked up about $300,000. So a little bummed on that one, but it's getting me really excited because the area that I'm in right now, there are foreclosures popping up all over, and I'm getting pumped. I want to show you some of these photos, but I don't want to show you photos of properties that I'm going to be buying, but I'm going to probably go around on a tour in the next week and start giving you examples of how bad some real estate agents are. The photos are horrendous, and it leads to less traffic to these places. I don't know why some of these agents don't get let go by their the owners, because it's abysmal. And some of these properties, one of them, the photos are so bad. I went and viewed the property. I walked the property yesterday. It's an awesome property, but the agent's photos are so horrible. It totally misrepresents what the property is. It's been sitting on the market for 157 days. And I think I may be able to, by the end of the week, buy it for 20% under value. I'd be buying that to put one business on because it's got a large property, the way it's zoned, and the rental of the actual unit. So getting pretty pumped. There are going to be even more deals in the future because this downturn is going to get even worse. But this is what this story is about. And the reason why I did, if you think about this thumbnail that I put up there, there's gold, there's real estate, there's lightning bolts and down arrows. You know, right now I'm looking at picking up a property for about 20% undervalue. Like I said, it's probably like 18, 21%, somewhere in that range. Now, my gold is sitting near record highs, and gold is only going to go higher when the Fed does lower rates. Okay. The gold traders have already bid it up because of that, and it's actually holding at that $2,000 mark. You know, people that made fun of gold traders a couple of years ago, they're never going to tell you that you were smart, but I will tell you this, they are sitting there going, what's going on here? The gold value is going up steadily. Real estate has topped and is coming down. For anyone that has the real estate crash course, go check out that lesson I did, the golden opportunity, because I break it down even further. But anytime we have big uncertainty and we have a downturn in the real estate market, gold either holds its value or goes up in value in dollar terms, which means it's even a bigger return when it comes to you turning that gold into real estate. All right, so this story hey, do me a favor real quick. Say hi to Quanto, just put it down. We're gonna just call him out, maybe scare him away. I don't care. It's like I'm a teenager again. Amid collapsed demand for existing homes, prices drop further. Supply is the highest for any December since 2018. New listings come out of the woodwork. Now again, in 2018, we're actually going into a housing bear market. The media didn't want to talk about it, but it was because interest rates had peaked for that cycle around a paltry, what was it, 2.25% or 2.5% on the Fed funds rate, okay? But it caused mortgages to bump higher than they had been in the previous, let's say, 6 or 7 years, all right? So housing in December of 2018, that was the peak of mortgage rates for that time in the cycle, all right? Now, December is historically the worst time to sell homes, and it's usually the time that we have the least amount of inventory. But this year is different, okay? We're going to see even more inventory. As a matter of fact, I saw inventory jump in the town that I'm looking at. Trying to be cryptic because I don't want a lot of competition. But it jumped, let's say, in the last 7 days about 3%, 4% in just 7 days. And yes, there are pendings going. I'm watching those closings if they're actually happening, but it's a very interesting turn in the market. Now it says here out of Wolf Street, housing market is frozen. People have gone on buyer strikes. Sellers are hoping that this too shall pass. I don't think it's going to. The median price of existing single-family houses, condos, and co-ops in the US whose sales closed in December dropped to 382,000, which is down 7.5%. Now again, let me back up. We're talking about the median price of existing family homes. The price. We're talking about ones that closed in December. They dropped by 7.5% since the peak in June of 2022. Okay. So for all those housing bros that tell you that real estate always goes up, it's going to go up, you better buy. Since June of 2022, the median home price has already fallen 7.5%. And we are not even in a quote unquote crisis, the type of crisis that the mainstream media is talking about. When the mainstream media talks about that, then it gets even worse. Why? Because the average buyer sees it and goes, ooh, this is bad. See, if the mainstream media was saying, home prices have fallen 7.5%, you know how close that is to 10 to double digits? Since 2022, they would be more reluctant to go out and buy. But right now, the mainstream media is trying to press this. It blows me away. There's people that tell me they want me to debate this person and that person on X or on YouTube that are saying that real estate's going up because they work for the National Association of Realtors. I really want you to understand their job is dependent on fees that come from realtors and from brokers. So they better be singing their praises and saying, real estate's going up. Go tell your clients, we said so. You don't have to tell them. You don't got to lie to them. We'll do it. The National Association has got a bunch of liars working for them. They're complete clowns that have no concept. I mean, just look at that one guy, one of the chief economists that was hailed as one of the biggest idiots of 2007, 2008 that said real estate's not going to go down. And he's doing the exact same thing. But the thing is, he's just got a really big room of idiots listening to him. That's just the truth. This market downturn is going to be epic, and there's not going to be a whole lot of people being able to say, yeah, we weren't warned like 3 years ago that this was coming and to get ready for it. So existing home sales are down. The median home price is down. And what you're going to find, and it's exciting because some of the properties I'm looking to buy are very expensive properties. Properties that most people wouldn't be looking to buy. But I've been doing this a lot longer and I've been getting ready for this, okay? So there's gonna be haters out there. But the reason why I look for more expensive properties is because on a percentage basis, they fall much more than the median home price. Why? It's the simplest thing. It's economics 101. It's because there are more people that can afford a cheaper home than a more expensive home, okay? So what happens is you get more value, more bang for your buck, because then about, let's say 6, 7 years later, on the upside potential, because credit will be leaned out again, it'll be easy, it'll be great. Just like all the people that lost their homes in 2008, they're back in homes again, okay? The cycle repeats. So then I'm gonna sell to them. That's exactly what I teach. So those are the ones I'm looking for, and those are the ones that are sitting longer on market. The cheapest houses in town, those things, they're a dime a dozen. People buy them up because usually the dumb money are the ones that aren't educated. All right, so here we go. So it says this puts 2023 on record as the first year since the housing bust when the seasonal high in June was below the seasonal high a year earlier. Given the price surge in the spring of 2023, the median price was 4.4% higher than in December a year ago. And these are very important stats to be talking about, and the reason why. People are already guessing where I'm at. The reason why is because when you see this hasn't happened since the last bust, when you start hearing the same stuff about stocks, we haven't seen PE ratios since the big tech boom or the dot-com boom. That should be turning on the emergency bells in your head and going, hey, this is not a joke, all right? This is history repeating. This is exactly why I started the channel, to teach everybody about economic cycles, both real estate, stocks, all of that stuff. Why is it super easy to figure out? This is the easiest thing in the world, the deal. I need some coffee. This is the easiest thing in the world to figure out. It's because it's simply human emotion. All right, so let's do this real quick. All right. I'm getting hit. I'm getting harassed by a friend right now on my phone. All right, so here we go. He says, unless I move to Hawaii, I better be up by now. All right, so let's do this. It says here, in another unusual development, prices have dropped every month since June. Okay, a lot of people don't like to understand that or explain that, but I'm going to show you something because we've got not a double top, but we've now peaked and we're now trending lower. I'm going to show you that in just a second. It's unusual because seasonally, before the pandemic, there were upticks and flat spots in October, though December periods, in October through December's periods, the little hooks in the chart, there were no such upticks or flat spots in 2022 or 2023. Prices fell right through that October to December period. So this is what I want to show you right now. This chart, seasonality, seasonal sales of homes, right? And you could see it's a very identifiable pattern. This is why I have always bought my homes in December, and I've always sold in peak months, spring and early summer, okay? Very identifiable. Now we go up here, and this is what everyone's super excited about. Like, everything is awesome. Everyone's making money. That's not true. So we see, this is the median sold price, right? So we saw it fall off a cliff right here. And on a percentage basis, that's a big deal. But then it ticked up, right? Got a bunch of other suckers in. But see, that was a lower high, and it's trending down again. Now, why is this important? Just like everybody makes money in the stock market off technical analysis, there's technical analysis to be done in the housing market, okay? Now, I'm not really fancy with super fancy charts. I don't have to. I make money in other ways too. So there are people that this is their life and they're super fancy, and I'm just not. I get fancy in the courses. You guys are students of mine. You see that. But for this, I just need to explain the bare minimum, the easiest stuff. And if people don't pick that up, they're going to be bad students and they're not going to go out and crush it. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I identify the good students in all my courses. When I used to teach fire departments around the state, it was because I wanted to pick them out of the crowd to lead their group, and then the class would go smoother. It's the same thing with economics. I know it sounds crazy. And what qualifies me to teach economics? Absolutely nothing. And that's just the truth. That's the funny thing about learning. You know, there was a day, I got to tell you this story real quick because I think it's really important, because it has to do with money and finance, the way the world's banking system works. One day, I was a professional firefighter for probably, I don't know, 14, 15 years of my life at that point. And I said, I want to make a course on how to teach firefighters how to drive four-wheel drive equipment on fires, because I was seeing too many rollovers and deaths. We had recently had a death at our base of a dozer operator. It was tragic. And there are things that we could teach firefighters on how to spot their vehicles, how to drive their vehicles, how to maneuver around certain obstacles, things like that. And I got told by all the firefighters, like, what makes you competent, or gives you the right to teach a course on this? I was just going to invent it. It never existed. And I said, well, I've been a professional firefighter and an off-road emergency vehicle operator now for 10 years. And I've got more time behind the wheel than most people. And they sat there and they laughed, and you aren't qualified. So I wrote out an outline. I submitted it to my local college. They accepted it. We even got it set up to where the college could get funds by departments paying to send people. And before you know it, we had hundreds of firefighters going through this class, saying it was one of the best classes in the world. I was told by the fire chief, what happens if they deny it? And I said, we're going to self-certify ourselves. I go, what do you mean? This has to do with money. I hope hopefully this is one of the best lessons you learned today. And they said, what do you mean self-certify? Well, we're going to come out with our department emblem, a logo, and because we're going to have a lesson plan. We're going to have a baseline of safety concern, all this stuff, all these check boxes we're going to go through. And then at the end, we're going to hand them a certificate that they passed our department's driving course. And they said, you can't do that. I'm like, heck yeah, I can. It's called self-certification. And they said he couldn't. I said, do you know that's how all colleges started? One day, someone just said, I'm going to start teaching people things. I'm gonna give them a diploma or a degree or a piece of paper that says you showed up and here you go, here's your participation trophy. That's actually how the banking system works. See, at one point, someone had to become a financial professional and they said, hey, I got this idea. We're gonna start calling ourselves professionals and we're gonna fool everyone and we're just gonna tell them how things work. It's actually how the world works. And then what happens is they get so big and their governing body gets so big and so powerful and they become lobbyists and money's involved that they just go tell everyone now, you can't do anything unless we tell you. Isn't that crazy? That's how the world works. It's all illusion. All of this that we're talking about with real estate, it's an illusion. The value of this home right here, let me show you, this condominium that I'm sitting in right now, I'm renting a place. I know I got enough money to pay cash for this place, but I'm not going to. Why? This is why. The person selling it, very nice gentleman, is a real estate professional. This is the largest condo in this complex. It's absolutely gorgeous. He tried to sell it this last year and he couldn't. And the sad thing is he said, I wish I would have sold it the year before in 2022. I said, why is that? He goes, because I also owned the smallest condo in this complex. I listed it for, what was he selling this one for? 1.5 million, something like that. And it sold like that. And he said, it was the smallest one. Here I go list the largest one in the complex a year later in 2023, can't sell it for the same price. He's a little baffled. He's pretty new at this. And I go, well, that's because a mortgage was a lot cheaper. And most of these homes need debt to just carry the price, carry the sale forward. And he's like, what do I know? I'm not a professional. I didn't tell him about my background though. And no, I did say, I used to own a real estate property management company, which should have told him right there as a brokerage, but that's okay. So he goes, so now he's gonna try and sell it again. So I'm only here for a few months. I'm here to do some skiing, which I can't wait. And so he can't sell it because mortgages are super high. Well, last year, when he tried to sell it and he couldn't, a mortgage was 5%. What's it now? What do you think a mortgage on a $1.5 million condominium is gonna cost? And the insurance is even more, so the HOAs are going up, things like that. What do you think that's gonna be this year? Are you gonna be able to sell for 1.5? More than likely, you're not gonna be able to, especially because I keep looking at the comps and the current active listings and the ones that are going contingent. So you see, that's the thing about the real estate market that most people just don't get. Why? Because they're being told something by a cheerleader, someone that has a financial vested interest in you buying a place. They don't care what happens to the price after that. So, one of my brokers at an agency that I worked for was getting mad with me because back then, if they would have bought a home, everyone would have made money because of this thing. But I kept explaining to my clients, I said, all right, listen, this is where we are in the market cycle. And I just want to make sure that if you're going to buy this, you're going to be here for a long time, because if you're not, you're going to get caught in a bubble bust. And so you need to either get in and get out, or you need to hold on for a long term. So that's why I was going through the 5 different ways you make money on real estate, making sure that the homes were properly set up. Hey, I know you want this cookie cutter track house, but there's only two ways you can make money. You sell it or you rent it. Why don't you buy this place? And I was trying to give them advice. My broker didn't like that. But you see, my broker, the day I quit, I said, you don't even remember that in 2007, you rolled your eyes at me when I said, you're gonna lose this brokerage because the bubbles burst. And he told me I didn't know what I was talking about back then. But now, because he doesn't remember me, all I had to listen to is these stupid, win one for the Gipper speeches when everything was happening during the shutdown. All he was doing was going, you have no idea. You think it's bad now because you all have to wear masks and you got to go into these houses. Nobody's calling you for showings. You don't know what it was like in 08, 09. I'm like, I'm sitting there going, you moron. The only reason I was working for him was because it was one of the biggest brokerages around. And I wanted to have that national brand, and technically, I wanted to make that the biggest one in the country because that's what I do. That's what I like doing. I like strategy. And that's why I like real estate. And so for everyone, and for anyone that just jumped on, I'm talking about this story out of Wall Street that's talking about price drops. We've got not even a double top. The price has now, we had our peak in home prices in the nation. We've now came back up and everyone is like, Ninja, you're wrong. And I'm like, not wrong. I'm not wrong. This doesn't go tomorrow overnight like this. If you look at a chart of 2008 of median sale prices, They peaked and then they did these seasonals. That's why this whole chart, it's the exact same wave pattern. It's like an EKG of your heart. It's the exact same pattern. Why? Because monthly, over years, there are identifiable cycles. And that's what I'm getting people just so ready for. Let me say something else, another learning point. I did a video the other day with a student from my course. And he didn't necessarily do it the way I would have done it, but I got to applaud him for how he did it. His name's Jesse. And some people were mocking him in the comments section. All right, so let me break this down, how smart Jesse was. So there's not just one cycle here, right? And in 2008, the Dow Jones lost 50% of its value. From mid 2006 to 2009, 50% of the stock market value was gone. Same thing happened in the dot-com bust. Well, when houses turn, stocks turn actually also. And this is historically true because the wealth effect is gone, so less people are buying stocks, you have less buyers, you have more sellers, it goes down. So Jesse decided, you know what? He's like, I'm seeing a bubble pop starting in the stock market, and I'm making these paltry, he was in what was it? A money market fund or something like that, his safe money. He goes, you know what? I went and pulled a loan against not a loan. He went and pulled out some of his 401k, and he paid the fine, a 10% fine on his gains, right? Mind you, and he paid capital gains on top of that too. But he goes, you know what? I took a calculated bet, and I went and I bought myself a duplex in a city in the country that hasn't seen these enormous rises, and he turned around and took his cash. He's now he was making 5% or 4% a year on the stock market to 17% cash on cash, which if you look at the amount he pulled out to put down on the property, and he's got it fully rented, he's got a team put together. He did everything from the course. He's crushing it, right? And he said, he goes, I'm not going to do that again. This was to get my foot in the door. He started an LLC. He put it inside. He did everything right? The stuff that most people won't teach you. Making 17% cash on cash, he's going to get that money back that he had to pay in taxes and in fines on the 401k sale, the portion of it, within a year. Why? Because the tax benefits far exceed the ones in the stocks in real estate, plus he's making 17% cash on cash. And then he's got a plan to be able to pull that money back out after that property's been seasoned inside of that LLC, letting the LLC make the money or give the loan. It's not going to come in his social security number. See, that's what I want to see. People absolutely crush it. I'm about to do that myself. I'm firing up a new LLC. I'm doing it to where everything's hidden. I'm going to do it right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring on one of my attorneys and show you how you can still hide your identity and certain information, even being completely compliant with the Corporate Transparency Act. Nobody's teaching this stuff. I'm going to bring him on and tell you about that, but I'm going to put money in the LLC bank account. I'm going to get it ready. I'm going to go purchase a home with this specific intention. I'm going to get it 20%, 25% under value. And then I'm going to go ahead after a few months and I'm going to pull the equity out of it. I'm going to get a renter in there, and the renter is going to cover the equity that I pulled out of it. That's going back in the bank, and now it's sitting there ready for the foreclosures. But the thing is that it takes a certain amount of time. We're going to see a brunt of foreclosures hit the market in June. And this is evident because we've seen how many of them went into forbearance and then loan modification status, or under special servicing. I know I'm getting real technical, but this is what we're at. And we know that through Dodd-Frank, it takes longer for a bank to foreclose on a home. And so a big slew of these are hitting in June. And it's not like the biggest wave, it's gonna get even better, especially as the mainstream media picks up these news stories. Now, what channel am I on right now? I'm on Economic Ninja, aren't I? There's reasons why this information is not supposed to get out. I'm not joking. Like, everyone can hit the thumbs up button right now and hit the subscribe. It's not going to allow it to hit over 440,000 subs. There's something holding it back. It's okay. I'm going to take care of it. This information is going to get out to the masses because I want you desperately to be ready for this crash. Look, I've gone too long. I don't want to just go on and on, but I want to encourage you. This market's turning. I don't give a crap what your real estate agent's telling you. I don't care what CNBC's telling you. They're all selling right now. I mean, I've been very good at showing you Type 1 if you agree with this. I've been showing you over the last year and a half that no, I don't care what you think Warren Buffett's doing. He's selling his stocks. I don't care what you think the richest guys in the world are doing. They're selling, okay? They're not like the average American. So what I want to do and what I encourage you to do is don't be the average American. I want you to think differently. Be meek with your finances, even though you've got a lot of, look, here's the thing. And I want to be a living example to you. I told you the story about why I paid off my home. Even though I had the money in the bank for years and years and years to pay off my home, I didn't. But my wife convicted me and says, be an example to your subscribers. I have the money to buy this condo. If I really wanted to, I'd have to liquidate some stuff. I'm not going to. I'm going to be meek with my money. Mrs. Ninja would love it if I bought this place. Not going to do it. We're going to sit back and let these come to us. We're watching price drops. And this is the time that you should be preparing. I want the place that I can ski right to my house. I want the place on the water that I can drop a pole in the water. Like, I want to take advantage of every thing that I didn't take advantage of in 2008, even though I sold my homes in 06. Okay? I swore to myself. I had no idea in 2010 when I was looking at a winery that my best friend built that went under for $2.3 million was out on it. It's now worth about 50 million. If I can get a pension fund to buy it. But my point being is I vowed I would never not be ready again. I've been preparing for this. If people go, it hasn't happened yet, when's it gonna happen? You know what, I don't give a crap what you think. I've been getting ready for this since 2010. You wanna talk about patience? I'm going to win. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd be saying that to right now, 1,400 people that will eventually go out to 40,000 people. And I want you to win too. Because quite frankly, we're losing our country. And the only way we're gonna get it back is to take the wealth back. So we gotta take the wealth back from the elites. We gotta take the wealth back from the pension funds. Because they're not gonna give it to you in your form of your pension. They're gonna pay themselves massive bonuses and huge salaries and take out tons of fees where you get this little paltry little pension. That's why I never bet on my pension. I put the bare minimum for the last 20 years into it. And I invested myself, and I've made good money. And that's what I want for you. I want you to go from win to win to win. Everyone, thank you to everyone that hit the subscribe button just to piss off the algorithm. And let's go crush it in 2024. I can't wait. The Economic Ninja. Oh, one last thing. This is important. That new channel, you guys have it trending. Thank you very much. I can't wait to start filming. I film tomorrow night a bunch more lessons, and we're gonna start getting very, I know right now it's just how to get out of debt. We're gonna wake a lot of Americans up, a lot of human beings around the world up. We're gonna get them out of debt, but those lessons are gonna get very, very defined, very high level economic stuff that's going to lead you to making more money than you've ever made, because we're gonna change and shift your mindset. And I can't wait for it. So if you'll just search on YouTube, This Will Make You Rich channel. I'll put it down in the comment section. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe, watch a video, maybe give a thumbs up. Let's boost the crap out of that thing. It's going to be different than you've ever seen on YouTube. All right, with that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.